Hi, welcome to my PowerPoint presentation, Essentials of Online Learning. Students today think and process information differently than they did in the 20th century. Because of all the technology they've been brought up with, their brains are physically different than students of the 20th century. These students are called digital natives, and today's students are no longer the people our educational system was designed to teach. Teachers, on the other hand, are new to this digital technology, and they're called digital immigrants. If we teach today as we taught yesterday, we rob our children of tomorrow. This was true in the 70s when John Dewey said this, and even more so today with the advent of all the new technology. It may be impossible for students to go back to the way the 20th century students' brains were. The onus for adaptation is on the teachers. So digital natives are a little different. They like or prefer receiving information fast. They can parallel process and multitask. They like their graphics before text. Hypertext is preferred over random text. They like to network. They like instant gratification and frequent rewards. And they like doing games over serious work. Digital immigrants must adapt. So these are the teachers. They must adapt in the methodology. So the way that they communicate in the language and the style of their students. The objectives of the learning don't change, just the methods or the ways of teaching change. Content would also change. So legacy content is the traditional curriculum, the reading, writing, arithmetic, logical thinking, understanding the writings and ideas of the past, compared to the 21st century learning content, which is digital and technological. These are video games, apps, YouTube, Skype, Google Hangouts. So the Quality Course Framework outlines essential elements necessary for high-quality, student-centered courses. This is used by University of Utah as an underlying framework for course development. It's based on Fink's model for creating significant learning environments. It's used to design the student-centered, high-quality, traditional, hybrid, and online courses. And here's a model of the design where first you look at the situational factors, and then your teaching and learning activities, your feedback and assessment, and finally your learning goals. So what are the components of these essential elements? And how do they specifically incorporate online learning principles? We'll look at these 6 essential elements. So the first one, there should be clear and measurable course objectives. So this is pretty much the same for traditional and online learning. These let students know what will be taught and what they are expected to learn. It allows instructors to organize and structure their course. What will the course activities be? How will they assess it? And allow them to make a course schedule. Course components should be aligned with objectives. Objectives should be stated clearly in the syllabus and made visible to students, present at both the course levels and the module or unit level, aligned to the teaching, learning activities, and assessment, measurable indicators of student learning across the course and the learning activities, and they should be identified by Bloom's taxonomies. So one thing that's new in online learning is Bloom's digital taxonomy. So this accounts for new behaviors and actions emerging as online teaching becomes more ubiquitous. And specific kind of verb words here would be at the remembering level. So bookmarking, understanding would be patient. Students could Twitter. For applying, they could be uploading stuff and then using that to showing how they can apply that learning to different formats. Analyzing could be done through networking. Evaluating could be through using video casting, and creating through blogging. So these are all new verbs of the 21st century learner. Also, the alignment grid, that doesn't really change from traditional to online, except for in the second column where we have Bloom's taxonomy, we could put Bloom's digital taxonomy, put those verbs there. And also we want to put into place the technology resources that we would use for each of these objectives or outcomes if there are some. But still the way the objectives are aligned seamlessly throughout the course stays the same. So the second essential element is a course organization and structure that facilitates student learning. So after these objectives are developed and aligned with the teaching activities, the structure and the organization of the course can begin. And it's recommended that it be consistent throughout the course and throughout the program of study. It should clearly articulate expectations that students will know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Clearly describe, mark, and label course modules and materials so that students can find and utilize the course materials to enhance their learning as they progress sequentially through the course. So orientation to the course should be organized the same way. The traditional content would be your syllabus, where's the course calendar, what's going to happen in the weekly modules, where you're going to find that, how things will be assigned and grading. But the future content, so the 21st century content, would also include orient the students to online learning, introduce them to general and university-specific tools of online learning, let them know how to contact you, for example, email or Skype, and how to do video conferences. So if you work in a group format online, what is the technology or the platform you're going to use for these? So online learning, you could ask them to take the test of online learning success to assess their characteristics, see if their basic technical and academic skills, ability to study independently, good organizational skills, willing to devote the same amount of time and effort as a face-to-face course. And introduce the student to online learning. So what is the learning management system you'll be using? Where are the tutorials to provide students with information about this, how to use it, where can they find help, and how would you communicate in this online learning management system. So the third essential is teaching and learning activities that engage students in the process of learning. So we want to define the activity objectives, articulate, demonstrate, and/or presentation of the course content, provide an opportunity for practice with individualized feedback, design, and assessment. So digital immigrants, or our 20th century instructors, will need education regarding available online activities, how students can provide feedback with this technology, how they can work in groups, and how to assess their performance with these activities. And the essential element number 4, a variety of course content, media, and materials in appropriate web formats. So there's lots of opportunities to present course content, and it meets all types of learners' needs and learning styles. It's a good idea to have students review the material using both individual and group interactions. So instructors in this new 21st century learning will need to learn how to interact using this technology. Number 5, a sense of learning community, communication, and student support is the next essential element. It's important to develop relationships and provide support structures for students. Research studies have shown this over and over again. It's important to incorporate the social aspects of learning into course design, so building interactions and developing a sense of community. And in the online environment, sometimes this can be overlooked because you aren't seeing the student on a one-to-one basis. So this is something that teachers in this new 21st century will have to learn how to do. Instructors should clearly define the preferred communication methods and channels so that students and instructors can communicate with them. Do you want them to contact you with texting? How often or when should they text you? Support each other and learn in a social environment. Take the time to lay out the rules for online teaching and learning so that students will know what to expect. So for example, when we get feedback to them, you can design tests right into your LMS that can give students feedback right away. Papers, when will you get those back to students? When will you answer their phone calls, emails, or texts? So this all needs to be outlined clearly. Provide opportunities for community building where students regularly interact with other students, materials, and the instructor, and make it clear to students where to turn for technical support. So essential element number 6, assessment, feedback, and evaluation strategies that measure student learning outcomes as well as overall course quality. This should be built into each of the essential elements that we looked at before. So there can be formative assessments, so we can have just-in-time assessments, quizzes, and reflections, and this can be done in the online environment by using discussion boards, building quizzes right into the learning management system, and summative. So at the end, students can be asked to fill out a survey to find out how you did. Then this should all be incorporated into the next class that you teach in a pragmatic fashion. So that's it. That's all I have. The references are on the next 2 slides. And thank you so much for listening to my lecture.